Let's take it to the streets. Show you the land of the free like you never seen. Talking about undiscovered America. Undiscovered America. Undiscovered America. Oh! Undiscovered America.
Welcome back to another episode of Undiscovered America TV. I'm your host, David Downing, and if you have been dreaming about your next getaway, this episode might be the inspiration you've been looking for. Sure, every town in America has a museum, but any school kid on a class trip can tell you that all museums are not created equal. So today, we're not just talking about any old museums, we're spotlighting some truly one-of-a-kind places. Bring a touch of whimsy, wonder, charm, and maybe even weirdness to your travel itinerary. Our collection of quirky cultural gems will guarantee your museum experience surpasses even your fifth grade expectations, and then some. Whether you're planning cross-country road trip or a weekend getaway, we're here to prove to you that the trip to the right museum can be a memorable addition to any getaway. So join us today as we uncover some of the most entertaining collections our great nation has to offer. Las Vegas, a city of lights, action, and history. And there's no better place to soak up its radiant past than at the Neon Museum. For more than 25 years, this iconic space has been telling the story of Vegas's vibrant and sometimes sketchy neon heritage. But this isn't some dark, smoky joint with a film noir soundtrack played loud enough to drown out that distinctive neon buzz. No, it glows brightly with the light of 200 signs that once proudly adorn the city's bustling streets. Welcome to the Neon Boneyard, as it's called. These signs are functional relics, still shining testaments to the establishments that once were but are no longer. The highs, the lows, the glitz, and the gamble. The museum's guided tours fill you in on some of these stories behind the grand beacons, and nighttime is particularly good time to take in the vivid picture of the city's yesteryear. But for an extra thrill, check out The Brilliant Show. It's a fusion of light, sound, where music and archival footage and dance of lights combine to tell the high-voltage history of Las Vegas. And although it is, at its core, a celebration of the past, it continues to grow with the city itself. Contemporary artists pay neon-lit tributes with their own creations, blurring that neon line that separates the past from the present. But a must-see pit stop is La Concha Visitor Center, a shell-shaped architectural marvel, whispering tales from its days as part of La Concha Motel. The Neon Museum is a celebration of Las Vegas's colorful and ever-evolving journey. In a city that is forever clearing away the past to make place for the future, we've all seen the footage of the demolition of the sands and those countless other iconic structures. This is one stop where parts of those memories will always be eternally illuminated. Now, from the outlandish to the downright out of this world. Dennis Balthazar, he's a researcher at the International UFO Museum and Research Center. Dennis, sir, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
The UFO Museum, tell us, what are folks going to find when they come to the UFO Museum?
Well, most people that come here are just curious. They don't know a whole lot about it, and we have a tremendous amount of information. We've interviewed over 600 witnesses over the years, so we've got a lot of the witness testimonies here. We've got touch screens where they can get a lot more information than they would otherwise.
So it's
and
interactive.
A whole lot of information.
Yeah, so you have interactive displays there. But let's just go back for a second. What is a UFO? How would you define a UFO?
UFO to me is anything that can't be identified. It's not necessarily aliens, but it's just something that you see that you don't know what it is. So it becomes a UFO. Could be an airplane, a cloud, a planet, could be anything.
So people
Probably
come there.
90% of what people see is a UFO.
So people come there and they're expecting to find more UFOs. They're trying to get a definition of UFO. Behind you, I understand, is one of the greatest collections about UFOs in the world, and that's in the museum, right?
That's right. Yeah, we're proud of the information that we have been able to accumulate over the years. And just like the library behind me is the second largest UFO library in the world.
So at its core, the UFO Museum, you really delve into the incident in Roswell from the 1940s, correct?
That's the primary primarily it's the 1947 incident, but we do have information in other cases around the world.
So you take that, and that has become such a kind of iconic incident, iconic UFO pilgrimage. Is there new information about that ever being unearthed, or is it the same story told over and over?
Well, we're always looking for new witnesses, but I think we've reached the point where all our witnesses, and that's 600 witnesses that we've interviewed, I think they've all passed away because they would be in their late 90s, if alive, and I doubt that many are alive. Perhaps we can get a deathbed confession, but I think as far as witnesses, we're probably through with witnesses, and that probably was the government plan.
And are people surprised by the UFO Museum? When they're there, are they surprised to find certain parts of the collection? What kind of folks show up there?
I think, well, it's a cross section of everything, from young people. And I'm finding that more young people are asking questions, which I'm really proud of, and I'm glad to hear. Young children that come in here and have good questions about what this is all about. So they're curious and trying to get some information.
And it seems like this could be a subject matter that is, unending, because there seem to be reported sightings going on all the time, right?
Oh yeah, when I was doing it full time, I was on a couple of internet lists, and there wasn't a week went by that there weren't probably 20 to 50 sightings somewhere in the world. But like I said, most of them are explainable.
Well, we will keep our eyes peeled for anything in the nighttime sky, and we look forward to coming to the museum there. Dennis, thanks for your time today.
You're welcome.
Now, from coast to coast, America is brimming with hidden gems waiting to be explored. Up next, we'll take you on a whirlwind tour of 3 museums that promise to dazzle, inspire, and captivate. Whether you're a history buff, art enthusiast, or just seeking a unique adventure, these destinations are a must-see. We'll be right back.
I discovered America.
Welcome back. We trust you're settled in and ready for more, because our journey into the world's quirkiest and most fascinating museums is far from over. And I guarantee you, any class trip would be a hit to any of the places on our list. And here is yet another. We're going to San Francisco with Summerlee Kasher, Executive Director of the Cartoon Art Museum. Summerlee, how are you?
I'm doing great.
So
Thanks for having me.
You are right there in the tourist center of San Francisco. You're looking out at Alcatraz. So tell us, what are people expecting to see when they come to the Cartoon Art Museum?
Ooh, that's a good question. We have a lot of different types of people that come to the museum, and what you get to see is all types of original cartoon art. So we have everything from animation to political cartoons, comic book art, comic strip, you name it.
And so this runs the gamut. You have hand-drawn art, you have computer-generated art. Give us an idea of the variety and scope of, because you have quite a collection there. How many pieces do you have?
We do have quite a collection. Our collection is about 7,000 to 8,000 pieces, but we can't exhibit it all at the same time. So we do rotate the exhibition. So when you come here, there's always something different. We're not going to have the same art up year after year. So one day you'll come and it'll be a comic book exhibit, and then we'll have some permanent collection stuff, but it's always going to change. So there are some people that come back again and again because they're always going to see something new and different.
I got it. So give us an idea of the time span. What is the oldest piece and what's the most recent piece of cartoon art that you have there?
In our collection, I think the oldest piece we have is probably the Yellow Kid from the early 1900s. We have a lot of Bud Fisher, who did Mutt and Jeff, and some of those old pieces. Those are actually based and were made here in San Francisco. But we also have more current animation from Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls. So it really does range, and a wide range. And when we do their changing exhibitions, we are borrowing from other collections. And so they can get even older than that.
So when people come there, I mean, when people say cartoons, particularly in America, people think of Disney first. You must have those cells and some other things that are popular with kids.
We absolutely have some of the Disney stuff. You know, it's a much more challenging art to come by, but we have some of that in our permanent collection, some really old stuff from like Fantasia. We even have an Oswald that was Walt Disney's character before he
Right,
made Mickey Mouse.
right. And do you, I mean, that sounds like they're hard to come by because those are highly collectible, I'm guessing, right?
And they're rare. I mean,
Yeah.
they're that old. They didn't collect, they didn't keep that stuff. I mean, Walt Disney actually used to reuse some of the cells because it was actually, he wasn't thinking of the originals. He was making a piece and it was more cost effective to reuse those cells than to keep them. Later on, they realized that they were collectible and they did collect more of them. So the early ones are much more rare.
So, and that sounds like an interesting gamut of a variety of pieces you have. Does it go all the way into anime and computer generated, the very most contemporary forms of cartoon art?
It, you know, it does. It's a little more challenging because when you get into computer generated stuff, originals are harder to actually say it's an original because the original's on a computer. But we love to show that process. So when we do exhibits of the more modern computer generated stuff, we're going to show the pieces of the process that they use to make that, sketches and thumbnails as they develop the final pieces.
That is, it sounds like a very spectacular place to visit. And if people go there, I mean, how can we find out more information about the Museum of Cartoon Art?
Well, the best way to find out information is obviously our website. You can see that at www.cartoonart.org. We are up here in the Fisherman's Wharf neighborhood in San Francisco. So if you're a tourist visiting here, we're very close by and you can just stumble on by and come in, look at the cartoons art, get inspired, and draw some cartoons.
Well, you've just given us here and our viewers one more reason to love San Francisco. Next time I'm there, expect me at your front door.
Well, we'd love to see you.
Thank you, Summerlee, and thanks for joining us on Undiscovered America.
Thank you.
As we wrap up one unique destination, we're setting our sights on one of the most amazing collections we've ever seen. And this museum is totally free, really. So Jeremy, this place is filled with things that have been in space or they've been in the air, they're flown objects. This one is specific because it's never left the ground. Tell me, what is this we're looking at right here?
This is the mobile quarantine facility. So Apollo 11, July
Looks like an old Airstream.
That's basically what it is.
Okay, all right.
The Apollo 11 astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, come back from the moon in July 1969. There's a fear they might bring something back from the moon with them, and so they're put in this trailer for 65 hours. They land in the ocean, they're picked up, they're on the carrier Hornet. This is flown to Houston, Texas, the Houston Johnson Space Center today, and they're going to sit in there for 65 hours. There's quite a famous picture of President Richard Nixon standing outside this window with the three astronauts looking out, smiling.
I've seen that picture before. I just didn't realize, because I didn't see the wide shot, that they were in this converted RV from the, looks like the 1950s or 60s.
It's a great use of existing technology.
And it's the only thing in this entire place that hasn't been in the air or in space.
That's right.
As we leave behind the huge and hugely impressive halls of our last stop, we head to a place that, according to its subject matter, might not even exist at all. Nestled in the heart of Washington, D.C., amidst monuments and museums, lies a different kind of historical tribute, the International Spy Museum. If you have ever daydreamed about a life of covert operations, encrypted messages, and top secret gadgets, this is the place for you. Since 2002, the museum has held a magnifying glass to the elusive world of espionage. It doesn't just showcase the sexy stuff of Bond films, it also pulls back the curtain on real-world intelligence operations that have shaped global events. The School for Spies is where your journey begins. Here, you're introduced to the tools of the trade, from hidden cameras to concealed weapons. But as you learn on the way, a spy's best asset is their mind. Journey through the secret history of history, and you'll know spycraft is nothing new. From ancient civilizations where stealth and cunning shaped empires to the chilling tales of the Cold War, deception has been as deadly as any weapon for ages. The Spies and Spy Masters exhibit puts real-life faces in the names, highlighting stories of courage, betrayal, intrigue, each account more riveting than the last. Feeling adventurous, dive into Undercover Mission, where you're not just an observer, you're an actual agent. Surveillance, decryption, disguises, you have all it takes to navigate the world of shadows. Tech enthusiasts, the Innovations Lab is a treat. Delve deep into the techie side of espionage. From code-breaking machines to modern-day cyber tools, it's a testament to how technology has revolutionized spying. And speaking of revolution, the 21st Century exhibit offers a sobering look at post-9/11 intelligence. This is a world where stakes have never been higher and the battlefields are ever-changing. For the cinephiles, the James Bond exhibit dives into the world of 007, where you can decipher the line between Hollywood's portrayal and the real gritty world of intelligence. The International Spy Museum doesn't showcase history, it immerses you in it. So next time you're in DC, trade the usual tourist spots for a trip down the rabbit hole of espionage. So just when you thought you've seen it all, we've got another museum that promises to challenge everything you thought you knew and might make you a little hungry. Here's a hint, it ain't a bunch of old paintings. And we're back. Thanks for sticking with us. We've got even more museum marvels and whimsical wonders lined up. Trust us, you'll be talking about these museums for days, or at the very least, until dinner. But let's continue. Ever wondered where those crispy fries, creamy mashes, and lumpy spuds on your plate hail from? Yeah, Idaho, everyone knows that, but more specifically, Blackfoot, Idaho, the potato capital of the world. Yet we are headed to the Idaho Potato Museum, a tribute to its superstar spud. The Potato Museum is planted firmly in the historic Oregon Short Line Railroad Depot, which makes sense because these things aren't from these parts at all. Originally imported from the highlands of South America, the potato experienced a pretty impressive odyssey to make it all the way to the rich fields of Idaho. Sure, the expected hyperbole is here, including the world's largest potato chip, a giant Pringle, and the majestic giant baked potato statue, a fun diversion kids will no doubt love. But more interesting is the tale of the potato's pivotal role in shaping the state's destiny. From farm to fryer, russets, golds, reds, and more tell a tale of hard work, innovation, and unmatched passion for a tuber many just take for granted. And the story gets even weirder with accounts of attempts of varying success to evolve the potato's use and reach, including potato-based plastic, potato-flavored drinks, and other mind-boggling innovations of this versatile veggie has spurred. The museum's cafe is every potato concoction you can imagine, from tots to soup and everything in between, but purists go for the simple bakers. That's what locals call baked potatoes. A choice so popular they need to be ordered up to 2 hours in advance. The Idaho Potato Museum celebrates a vegetable that's fed nations, fueled economies, and found a special place in our hearts. So whether you're a food fanatic, a history buff, or just a curious soul, Blackfoot, Idaho is a must-stop for you. So, keeping with the food thing we've got going, we're now headed to another museum with edible subject matter, but definitely one for those with a little more adventurous palates. We're going to Austin, Minnesota that is, where nestled among its charming streets, you'll discover a museum dedicated to a true culinary wonder, the Spam Museum. The beloved canned meat product Spam was, well, invented by the Hormel Foods Corporation in 1937. Of course, a museum full of century-old canned meat would hardly be attractive, so this place tells the rather bizarre story of the innovation, the wartime heroics, and global love affair with a food that's both versatile and iconic. You see, in World War II, fresh food was a luxury, so on the front lines, Spam became the unsung hero since it could be stored without refrigeration. This made it a staple not just for our troops, but for the rest of the world eventually, since it soon began to find its way into the heart of global cuisine. The museum shows an intricate mock-up of the production line, sparing us how the actual product is made and perhaps validating the adage about laws and sausages. You never want to see either of them being made. Spam's surprising integration into various global dishes is well documented here. Ever tried Spam sushi or maybe Spam-infused Korean stew? This exhibit takes you on a journey across borders, proving that Spam speaks the universal language of flavor, or at the very least, canned meat convenience. And Spam is in the air here, literally, as the sound of vintage advertising jingles can be heard throughout. From retro ads to iconic TV moments, Spam's influence on the pop culture is unmistakable. And for those who fancy a challenge, test your knowledge against fellow enthusiasts at the Spam Game Show Corner, a mix of trivia and fun. The gift shop has the expected Spam apparel, but the real get is the tins of Spam and exotic flavors you never knew existed: Portuguese sausage, jalapeno, garlic, just to name a few. This place explains the inexplicable popularity and traces the voyage of nearly 100 years of Spam. Those seeking a taste of the unexpected should definitely plan a trip here to the real Spam-a-lot, the city of Austin, Minnesota. So now we're going to talk about a specific kind of art, bad art, more specifically the Museum of Bad Art. Please welcome Louise Riley-Sacco, Permanent Acting Interim Executive Director of the Museum of Bad Art. Louise, how are you today?
I'm great, and it's a delight to see you, David, and talk about our museum.
Good to have you with us. So the Museum of Bad Art, we have to be clear up front, this is not a joke, right?
Oh, absolutely not. We were formed in 1993, and we're still going 30 years later. No, this is not a joke. It is fun.
It's a celebration of kind of things that are a little bit edgy. They're found objects. Some of them might be thrift stores. Some of them might be garage. Some of them are even found in a dumpster, and they're promoted to the artistic status. What is the intentionality behind that, and what are the hallmarks of bad art?
Well, we have a very clear mission, and that is to collect, exhibit, and celebrate art that would make it in no other venue. And we look for pieces. First of all, the word art is really important in our title. We
Right.
look for pieces that are art.
Right.
And to us, that means it's sincere, it's original. Someone is trying to communicate something.
But you also talk about
something went
venue.
wrong.
You also talk about venue. You have a very specific venue. Could you tell us about your venue?
Yes, absolutely. For many years, we were in the basement of various old movie theaters in the Boston area, but now we have a permanent location in the Dorchester Brewing Company. People can have a beer and some barbecue and enjoy bad art, and admission is free, and we're open long hours, and it's really been a great spot for us.
So that sounds actually kind of delightful. You get to hang out, you get to have some beers, be with some friends, take in some bad art. So
Yes.
question is, the more beer you drink, does the art get worse or does it get better, or is that even come into the equation at all?
Doesn't come into the equation. And we don't, actually, beyond our name, we never use descriptions like bad or worse or things like that. It's in the Museum of Bad Art. That tells you one thing. But then we're celebrating the art. We're describing it. We're helping people appreciate it the way we do. We always post the pieces with our interpretation of what we see in the piece.
And that's, I saw some of them online. You actually have some of these for sale, and you have a gift shop, and you can buy some of them. People can see these images online.
Yeah, oh yeah, we never sell things from our permanent collection.
Okay.
We sell prints. Of
800 pieces of bad art and counting, and that is the Museum of Bad Art, or MOBA, in Dorchester. Louise, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
America's museums never cease to amaze. Trust me. Stick with us. We'll be right back. You know, today we've explored a few of America's quirkiest museums, but there are so many more just waiting to be discovered. So if you have a favorite that we missed, drop us a line and help us uncover the lesser known wonders of America. And on that note, if you've missed any of our episodes, how dare you? But you can find them anytime on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and YouTube. We'll see you again next week for another exciting journey right here on Undiscovered America TV.